Red Hot Gotsy, come subscribe, come subscribe, come subscribe, come subscribe. Red Hot Gotsy. Alright, so today I am making another Cobra Kai video, and today I'm going to be talking about Miguel and Robby's beef throughout the entire Cobra Kai series. Now, basically, the whole point of this is I'm going to be talking about who started the beef and why, and basically just getting into the complexities of both of their characters and why this beef continued. So, without further ado, let's just get into it. Also, comment, subscribe, like. Now, I'm just going to start off when it comes to seasons, basically who started the beef in each individual season, and I'm just going to talk about the overall show. Now, when it comes to season 1, I would say overall it's probably more so Miguel's fault, only because he is the one who started the whole fight between him, Sam, and Robby. And at the end of the day, Robby wasn't necessarily trying to fight Miguel, but he was flirting with Sam, like I said in multiple other videos when I was talking about the seasons. Mainly I was talking about it in the season 1 review, or reanalyzation. And basically, I was just talking about the fact that Robby and Sam were basically just talking, and it made it seem like Miguel was, or it made it to Miguel, it made it seem like they were flirting. So Miguel came up to them, and he started this whole fight. He accidentally hit Sam, and that started Miguel and Robby's whole dynamic. Now, the thing is, after that, Miguel ends up antagonizing Robby further by wanting to, basically break him, like on the mat, obviously, and during the tournament, he literally re-injures his arm after Hawk already hit it, showing that he's not willing to actually play fair because of what Johnny was teaching him. Now, obviously, it was Kreese's methods that Johnny was picking up, and that's why he taught that to Miguel, because that's all he knows. So I understand that aspect. I'm not necessarily saying Johnny's a bad character for that, but looking at what Miguel did, it does show that he was the main one antagonizing Robby at that point, when at the end of the day, Miguel has done things to Robby as well. Now, he doesn't do it intentionally, just like I don't think Robby was intentionally trying to hurt Miguel in the sense of like trying to actually get with Sam, but it just happened that way. I still hold him accountable for it, because at the end of the day, it's like, actually no, I more so hold Sam accountable only because Robby probably didn't know she was in a relationship, especially with Miguel. But at the end of the day, I do think that Miguel was trying to stretch out the rivalry, and he did want to hurt him in front of Sam, and basically just make it very dramatic at the end of the day. So he is the main one who started it in season 1. Now, in season 2, I would actually give it to Robby, and he's basically the one that prolonged the beef even further, and basically created the whole scenario that we have throughout the entire series, where both of them hate each other because of the horrible things that they did to each other during the season 2 finale. Now, basically the premise of that is Robby ended up kicking Miguel off the railing because Miguel kissed his girlfriend. He kissed Sam. Now, the whole reason this happened was because Miguel returned the Medal of Honor, and Robby basically lied about it and said that it was just, I guess they found it in the backyard, right? That's where he put it, because he basically didn't want to lose Sam, because he knew Sam would fall back in love with Miguel. Now, the thing is, he was actually right about that, and I actually mentioned why Robby is actually kind of based for that, and I kind of do feel bad for Robby at the end of the day. But when it comes to that, he did do a bad thing, and he did apologize for it, and actually did hold himself accountable. And he did tell the truth. Now, in the season 2 finale, Sam wasn't able to tell the truth, whether you want to say she didn't want to, or maybe she didn't get the chance, because she was kind of cut off by the bell and the fact that class started. But I do think it's kind of irritating at the end of the day that she didn't just at least try to give him the Cliff Notes version or something along those lines, because then the whole school fight happens and she never gets the chance. She also afterwards never really actually tries to reach out to him once he gets out of prison, maybe juvie, maybe to wait before getting with Miguel, and just making sure that he recovers, and then talking to Robby, and then you can get Miguel afterwards if Robby doesn't want to still be in a relationship with you. But the fact that she didn't really give him enough of a chance kind of is irritating, and I feel like Sam has a huge part in this entire rivalry to begin with. But in terms of like Miguel and Robby, I would say Robby was more so at fault in this entire season, because of the fact that he lied about the medal. And the medal is a very important part of Sam's history, because again, it's Miyagi's medal, and it was Daniel's as well. Daniel was really pissed during season 2 because they stole the medal. And again, it's Hawk's fault at the end of the day. But in terms of like Miguel and Robby being pissed at each other, this could have easily been prevented if he just told the truth. Like if Robby told the truth, obviously he would have lost Sam, and he probably would have still been pissed about that. But at the end of the day, it's kind of a parallel to like season 1. Like Miguel was pissed off because he lost Sam because of Robby. So the fact that Robby's pissed off that he could lose Sam, it's like, well, this happened to begin with Miguel. Like you already went through this, so you should be able to understand that. But yeah, overall I would just say Robby started season 2. Now when it comes to season 2, I'd actually give it to Robby. I think Robby is the one who actually starts or prolongs the beef even further and actually turns it into something entirely different, to where like everyone's involved, not necessarily just Miguel. Now the thing is with Robby is when he does an action, it's because he's been screwed over in the past, and that's happened many times in the show, and that's why I've started to gain a lot of sympathy for him over the years. But in season 3, he does like very antagonistic things, even though he's trying to like make up for the things that he's done, and he's trying to maintain like some aspects of his life. His life is in shambles, and I understand that. But when it comes to him joining Cobra Kai, that is inherently an antagonistic thing against his dad, against Miguel, and against all the other characters like Sam as well, Hawk. So it's like what he does is a reaction to all the stuff that has happened from the other characters doing stuff to him, to some extent. But he is also, you know, responsible for his own actions, and the fact that he wants to join, you know, evil organization by a dude who is internally broken, because Kreese has a lot of trauma, and at the end of the day, you know, joining Cobra Kai is not the best thing for Robby's mental health. So, and the fact that, you know, it's the opposing side of, you know, the main cast, of course he's going to be seen in a negative light, but I do sympathize with the character. He is the one who is prolonging the beef though, and at the end of the day, Kreese wants to, you know, start a tournament so that he could destroy Miyagi-Do, and because Robby doesn't like Daniel, he wants to help him do that, which is really bad, because Miyagi-Do is actually good for younger kids who, or even older kids who want to defend themselves and, you know, just help themselves in any bad situation, because again, karate is supposed to be for defense only, but he's joining a group based off his emotions. So inherently, technically, logically, objectively, he is the one who is at fault for season 3. In season 4, I would give it to Robby, but they don't really necessarily interact very much at all in season 4. And the only reason I'm giving it to Robby is because he's in Cobra Kai, like I said before, which means he's prolonging the beef because he is a part of the opposing side of the main cast, the good guys, I guess you can put, you know, put it that way. And at the end of the day, Robby is the one who is putting thoughts in Miguel's head like, oh, Johnny doesn't really care about you, he just feels bad for screwing up with me. So when he says stuff like that, and Miguel has said bad things to him in the past too, so I'm not, you know, saying that he doesn't, but in this season in particular, he is the aggressor. In season 5, I'm 100% giving it to Miguel, and it's not even close, only because he does attack Miguel in the parking lot. And when it comes to when they were in the water, like at the water park, he did also like attack him in the back, and they were about to fight as well, but then the lifeguard stopped them. So overall, I definitely would give it to Miguel, and he even like was more antagonistic and more aggressive in the apartment fight, and that's why he was able to win, because he had some people would call it like a resolve amp, essentially meaning that when he remembered the fact that his back was broken and he got the injury in season 2, you know, the season 2 flashbacks helped him actually remember what he was fighting for, and that helped him win. But it doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day, he was the one who was angry at Robby for that. And, you know, the fact that they talked about the injury and the fact that it was a mistake from on Robby's, you know, part, they were able to solve their beef, and that's basically the end of it. Now, if you were to give both of them points, I would say Robby has more points. So overall, Robby is the main aggressor in the entire series, but I will say that in terms of season 1, it's arguable that Miguel did start the beef, and that's why I just gave him the point, only because he was drunk, which some people could argue is an excuse, and he did, you know, start a fight with Sam, and then Robby was there. He accidentally hit Sam after pushing Robby, so you can understand why Robby was upset and wanted to fight him at that point.
Even though he wasn't the main aggressor, you know, he still created a situation, put himself in a situation to where it looked that way. And when it comes to season 5, the main reason Miguel gets a point there is only because he was pushing him twice. He pushed him in the water park, and he pushed him in the parking lot, and was about to fight him twice. When it comes to the season 5 fight in episode 5, he was, you know, the main aggressor of that, because he was angrier. He was channeling that anger into the fight, because that's, you know, the Cobra Kai way, and he was using a little bit of Miyagi-Do as well, because he learned a little bit of that from Daniel. So he basically was using both styles and basically defeated Robby because of that, and what people could also perceive as a resolve vamp, you know, because he remembered the back injury and stuff. And then the beef was solved after that, but he was the main aggressor before that. Now, when it comes to Robby, again, like I said before, is, you know, gets very mad and emotional, and he makes bad decisions sometimes when it comes to his anger, and he ends up, you know, making decisions like joining Cobra Kai, or hiding the Medal of Honor, kicking Miguel off the railing, stuff like that. But I do understand Robby's plight, and I do understand why he's angry a lot of the time, and why his life sucks, you know, to some degree. But at the end of the day, he was technically the aggressor, and that's why he was the main one who started the beef. You know, comment, subscribe, like, let me know what you actually think, because I want to know, to see you everyone's opinion about, you know, just the beef in general, and if you like it or if you dislike it. If you think Miguel started the whole beef and he prolonged it, or if you think Robby started the whole beef and he prolonged it, who knows? Or if you think it's somewhere in the middle. Personally, I do think it's somewhere in the middle, and that's just my personal thought process. You know, based off no bias, no anything. I do lean towards Robby more so, and that's why, you know, logically, when I look at everything that I've analyzed in the video, it does seem that way. But I'm not necessarily biased towards Miguel anymore, and I do understand some of, you know, some people's plights, you know, especially the Robby fans, or even people who are like not necessarily like hardcore fans of the show. They're just, you know, casuals, if you want to put it that way. Even they do point out some of the stuff that Miguel does wrong, like, you know, cheating on his girlfriend, or just leaving to Mexico for some reason just so he can find himself. You know, stuff like that are bad traits of Miguel. But, you know, when it comes to some of the other things, like sparing Robby, or caring for his friends, defending people when they need help, he does do that, and, you know, he is a good guy at heart. And the same thing goes for Robby. Both of these two are some of the greatest characters in the entire franchise, let alone the series of, you know, Cobra Kai. I love both these two, and honestly, they're my number 1 and 2. I would say Miguel's number 1 and Robby's number 2. You know, some people could probably switch those. Hawk is definitely number 3 though at this point, because I feel like Hawk has just been, you know, ruined to some degree. And I'm going to make actually another video very soon, very, very soon, about Hawk. So stay tuned for that. Comment, subscribe, like. I'm going to be making another video after this. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. Peace.
No way, Jose. Red Hot Gotsy, come subscribe, like, come subscribe, like, come subscribe, like, come subscribe.